Do I go? Okay. Harper, you do even numbers. I do odds.
Okay.
First question. What was your favorite toy or activity as a child?
What was my favorite toy or activity as a child? I don't remember being a child. Probably my favorite toys growing up would have been dolls.
What was one of your favorite shows as a child?
We did not go to shows as a child because we lived in the country and we didn't have money enough to go to shows.
We can edit this part out, but Cole, why don't you ask Grandma her name, when she was born, where she was born at?
That was going to be one of my next questions.
Okay, that should have been first.
What's your full name?
My full name is Nyla Nadine, and my maiden name was Folk, and now my last name is Nienke. I was born 6/18/29 in Ellsworth County on Sherman Ranch.
Did you have any nicknames that anyone called
I
you?
went by Nadine all my life until recently when I have to go by my legal name.
Okay.
Why do you have to go by your legal name?
That's what the government says now. And when I go somewhere and I sign in as Nyla, and then pretty soon they'll say Nyla, and I just sit there.
What was your favorite memories? What's one of your favorite memories from childhood?
Well, one thing that we liked to do was when it rained, our mom liked to go wading in the mud, so we'd all go wading in the mud.
What about your parents?
What about them? You want to know their names? Or
Yeah, what's their names?
Wilbur and Madeline Folk.
And what was their reason for living where they lived?
Well, because my dad was a farmer, and so he rented different farms.
Okay. What do you want to be? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I used to think I wanted to go to college and study math.
Okay.
But then somebody came along and I changed my mind.
Who changed your mind?
Your grandpa Nienke. Great grandpa Nienke.
What's one of your favorite activities now?
Right now I like to read a lot, work puzzles.
What's the best place you've ever traveled in your life?
Well, that varies day to day, and recently I've been thinking about my trip that I took to Boston and about the trip I took to Cape Canaveral in Florida.
If you could have lived in a different place, where would it be?
I don't know, I'm satisfied with Kansas.
Now that we have a Trader Joe's.
Yeah, now that we have a Trader Joe's, I'm happy to be in Kansas.
If you could have lived in a different era, what era would you have lived in?
Well, I always thought I wanted to be an Indian maiden. But then the more I think about it, I always said I was going to come back as an Indian maiden, but they don't have indoor toilets, so no, I don't want to anymore.
Do you have any regrets?
Any regrets?
Yes. Do you have any regrets?
Not that I can think of right now.
And what was your favorite job?
Working in a fabric store.
I knew that answer.
What was one of your favorite memories of being a mom?
I guess when my kids were born and taking care of them as babies when they're sweet and innocent.
Before they can steal your things.
What's one of your favorite memories of being a grandma?
Well, seeing my grandkids and my great-grandkids and what little I see of the great-great-grandkids.
Yes.
Ask her how many grandkids she has.
How many grandkids do you have?
I have 5 grandkids, 4 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. Don't ask me how many greats, and don't ask me how many great-greats, because there's a bunch of them.
What are you thankful for?
I am thankful that I am still able to get around and my health is fairly good, pretty good.
Is there anything left on your bucket list for what you want to do?
Oh, yes.
What is it?
I want to meet Sir Richard Branson so bad.
Alrighty then, I don't know what that means, but okay. 16.
You don't know who Sir Richard Branson is?
No.
Well, look him up.
I'm sorry, I can't do that. We're in the middle of questions.
What's your favorite technological invention that occurred in your lifetime?
That's a hard question. Maybe the thermostat on the furnace that keeps it warm.
Okay. How did you meet? Wait, no.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a good place to start.
Okay, how did you meet Grandpa Leonard?
Okay, you really want to know this one?
Yes.
He was going with my sister, and my sister decided she didn't like him because he didn't have a motorcycle.
Which sister?
Yeah, which sister?
Well, my crazy one, Aunt Dorlee.
Okay.
She only liked the wild guys that had motorcycles and drank.
Alrighty then. On to the next question. What type of place did you grow up in?
Out in the country, on a farm.
Okay. What were your neighbors like, and did you have any friends as neighbors?
Yes. Back in the day, the neighbors all helped each other. We would get together and have card parties and soup suppers and things like that.
Okay. What did you like about Grandpa Leonard most?
He just was a nice man.
Okay. What was your hometown? Well, actually, I just asked him. But,
If you could travel into space, would you?
If I had $200,000, yes, I would.
I would not. I'd just take the $200,000 and go.
No, just go up there and look at things and come back down.
That's a waste of $200,000. That's a lot of money.
Adventure. What? It would be an adventure.
If you just go up and look at stuff and then go back down, it would look kind
It'd be her money though, so it wouldn't matter.
What?
If I had $200,000, I'd probably have a lot more money than that, so. That's why I want to meet Sir Richard Branson, because he's going to hopefully take the first people into outer space.
Yeah. What are your feelings on running water?
Depends on where the water runs.
Well,
You mean in the house?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. If it's flood water, I hate it.
how do you feel about wells?
Well, I've pumped a lot of water and glad to have a pump.
Okay.
My parents did not have running water as long as I lived with them.
Do you have any if when you were alive, did you have any favorite age/stage in life?
A favorite stage?
Age or
Like
stage?
what's her
Yeah.
favorite part of life been?
No, because that's just one moment. I mean, like an entire year.
Oh, an entire year
Yes.
or decade?
Yeah.
Okay. Just clarifying.
Clarifications are bad.
I do not know the answer to that question.
You didn't have a favorite age?
I'm just glad to be alive and
That means she's liked
Go.
all of them.
go with the flow.
Okay.
with the running water.
Joe.
Are there any secrets to living a long, fulfilling life?
Well, number one, like yourself, take care of your health. And don't hold a grudge. Just be a happy person. And don't worry what people think about you, because that doesn't matter.
If there's any piece of advice that you would share with anyone, what would you share?
I guess be happy with what you have. Don't crave things that are beyond what you might have. Just be happy with what you have. Be happy you have friends.
Just be happy in general.
That's right.
What was Papa like as a kid?
You mean him?
Yeah.
Oh. He was a pretty good kid most of the time. No, he was a real good kid. Except when he comes in and says, "Look, Mom," and it's a snake right in your face. And then he ties it to a tree, and then when he goes out the next day, the snake's gone. He didn't know a snake could be tied, or he didn't know that a snake couldn't be tied up. We used to fly model airplanes together
Okay.
till he got his hand injured by the propeller on one.
Nice job.
How did you feel when Papa went into the army?
I don't know. I guess I was glad he was doing his duty.
Duty.
Yes.
That's another good question. Well, I know one. If you could visit any historical person, who would you visit?
Any historical person.
And they would still be alive. And they can still be alive today.
I'm thinking. Not a politician.
That's obvious. No one wants to be a politician.
Maybe Bill Gaither.
Don't know who that is, but okay. Yeah, who is that?
He's a preacher.
What's that? I'm clueless.
Like at a
Okay.
church.
The
Cole.
church. They had a church.
Oh,
You know
no
what a
wonder.
preacher
I'm an atheist, so.
And he has people that sing with him, and they go all over and sing. And I listen to his programs every Sunday afternoon when I'm home.
How did you feel when Papa came home from the military safe and sound?
I was very happy.
If you could meet, what would you be reincarnated as?
Well, I said an Indian maiden, but then I changed my mind, so
Now what is
probably come back as I am.
it? If you could meet any person from like ancient myths, who would you meet?
It's a good question.
Why are you laughing?
It's a good question. I wasn't expecting that.
I could, oh my goodness.
Like Zeus, any of the gods.
You know what? Maybe the Wright brothers.
No. Just going back a question. You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because
Yeah,
I
I
think
know
they
they
would have been,
invented the airplane.
they would be very interesting.
Okay. If you, no, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Harper, you can ask a question.
Yeah, go Harper.
Yeah, go.
Cole's not controlling this.
Question.
Then why'd you say it?
I just said one to Cole. Give it to her, Cole. Let her ask it.
What do you miss about Grandpa Leonard the most?
What do I miss about Grandpa Leonard the most? Well, one thing that he always said was, if you're going to go take a bath, he'd always say, don't get wet. And I still say that to people.
Okay, here's a good question that there's no real right answer to because, you know, if you had $1 million, what would you spend it on?
If I had $1 million, I probably would have work done on my house, but I really don't want anything because I have everything I want. But my house does need some work done on it.
Okay.
When did you first get interested in sewing?
I do not remember learning to sew. We girls learned to sew very early because we were very poor people, as you look at it now. And if we wanted new dresses, we had to learn to sew and make our own dresses.
Okay. Now, here's the question that has infinite possibilities, infinite answers.
Okay,
If you had any amount of money, what would you spend it on? Any amount.
Not $1 million. Any.
I just need enough money to get by. I don't need a lot of money.
Stop.
Cole.
I
Harper.
probably would give it some of it away.
If you had one wish, what would you wish for?
To live to be 300,
Okay.
because there's still a lot of things to do in this world.
I've had too many questions. Now it's your turn. Come up with any questions.
Tell us about square dancing.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Where'd you square dance the most?
In Salina. But we got to go to the National Square Dance convention once in Denver.
Cool. It's not square dancing that.
That thing.
That's when you do-si-do.
What's square dancing?
Good. Oh my God.
There's 4 couples in a called a set, and you dance together.
That's that one.
What was your favorite vacation ever? Ow. I didn't even touch you.
When Barry was a baby, we went to Idaho, and on the way, your grandpa wanted to get in the water in Colorado, and he decided it was really cold, and the water was about 32 degrees. Then we went on up into British Columbia and came back down.
So where all did you go on that vacation? What states?
In Colorado and Idaho and British Columbia, and then down to Washington State, and then across Idaho and
Utah.
I'm thinking, oh yeah, we went to Utah. And that's where Aunt Nadine scraped her ankle and couldn't get into the Great Salt Lake. We ended up in the Black Hills. It was a long trip.
Is that when we went to Rushmore, Mount Rushmore?
Mm-hmm.
If you could go anywhere, where would you go?
I would like to go back to Boston.
Boston. Honestly, I'd just say around the world.
No, I don't want to go around the world. I don't want to leave the United States now.
You could always just stay on the plane. Be like, yeah, no, I'm not going here. I never agreed to go here on this contract that I never signed.
But when we went to Boston, we were only there like 5 days and we didn't get to see everything.
You should read better.
Why do you like the idea of space travel so much?
Maybe I'm nosy. Maybe I'm just interested in space. I don't think I will live long enough to see people living on Mars or the moon, but that's okay. It's there, you should learn about it.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
Okay.
Would you ever want to travel to space?
Yes. If I had $200,000 with Sir Richard.
Who's your favorite person?
Myself.
Me too.
I love myself. Don't hide yourself right now.
Next question.
Think.
Ooh. If you could choose any food to eat for
I'm
the
pausing
rest
if you
of
want.
your life,
Yeah, let's pause it.
Okay.
Hold on.
What
Hold that
it-
question. Hold that
Wait.
question. We got
if you could eat any one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably potatoes. or pasta?
Ooh.
I like the second one. First one, no opinion. When did you and your grandpa Leonard get married?
On April the 15th, 1947.
Wait, yeah, where?
Okay, I was still in high school, but we eloped to Ellsworth, Kansas, and I was married in the church in Ellsworth.
Okay.
And we had a best man and a
Best
bridesmaid,
woman?
yeah, best woman.
I don't know.
And the reason, you want to know the reason I got married then?
Why?
Because my mom wanted us married on their 20th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
And you did not want that?
Well, we weren't going to get married until I got out of school,
Yeah.
Okay.
so I still had a month of school.
Ask who the best man was.
Yeah, who's the best man and the best woman?
Okay, the best man was my dad's cousin, Wes. And the bridesmaid was Leonard's oldest sister, Nelda.
Good questions.
I got one. If you could go to any important monument in the world, where would you go?
I would like to go back to Santa Clarita, California, to Reagan's library.
Okay.
Because I'd like to see the airplane.
Yeah, what airplane?
The presidential airplane that he flew on.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I don't need a superpower.
You should say to live forever.
Oh, well, okay. Live to be 300.
Making world records out here.
Yeah, it would be a world record.
Yeah, that would be. Never to be broken again.
Cole, I did see Air Force One when the older Bush was president, and he landed in Bakersfield, but I didn't want to see him. I wanted to see the airplane, and so we went to the airport and we talked to his guards.
It's probably a better conversation anyway.
Secret Service, Charlie.
What do you remember the most about your parents?
They were good people, hard-working people. We did things together. They never told us they loved us, but we knew they did because the way they treated us.
What's your favorite drink?
Outside of water, it'd be Pepsi.
So water? It's any drink, so.
Just water then.
Okay.
How tall was your dad? Really?
Really, I don't know, but people thought he was tall, but to me, he wasn't big, wasn't tall, just was my dad. He was taller than my mom.
A lot.
I think Cole is too.
What do you say?
Not quite, buddy.
asked me something happened in Salina. Something exciting that happened in Salina.
You know, what's the most exciting thing that's happened in Salina?
When Steve Fawcett flew the plane around the world, left from Salina and came back to Salina.
That's cool.
Ask her why.
Yeah, why?
He flew around the world without refueling, and the plane that was built for that, the fuel was in the wings, and they almost drug on the ground. And at the airport north-south runway is a fence, and I thought he wasn't going to clear the fence, and I'm screaming, "Get up, get up, get up," and finally he just got over the fence.
But why that airport?
I think I already know that.
Do you?
Do you?
It's the Salina Airport.
They thought that when he came back over the west coast, he might be out of fuel, but they thought that he could glide to Salina. So that's why they picked Salina, but he still had enough fuel to get back to Salina.
Plus, Salina's got one of the longest airfields around,
In the
Runway.
runway, and he needed that to get taken off.
And then later on, he lost his life in an airplane crash. And I had been by the place where he crashed.
That's what I would call karma.
No.
That's not what
That's the
karma
opposite of
is.
karma.
No, that's karma.
No, it's not.
Ask her if she saw him take off and land.
Did you see him take off and land?
No, because I was sick when he landed,
Oh.
so I didn't get to see him land.
Okay.
And that's when Sir Richard was in Salina.
Let's see.
Get your phone out. Harper's it up.
Ask a question before that. If you could have any one item that's ever been in this world, what would it be?
Any one item. Oh my goodness. I do not know.
Don't know.
Did you ever ride a horse?
Yes.
Did you fall off it?
I might have, I don't remember, but we had a Shetland pony that was meaner than heck, and he would go up against a post and try to rub you off.
Oh.
Where did you ride?
Just around the yard.
You ever milk a cow?
Ever milk a cow? Yes. And when I got married, I forgot how to milk cows. Did I ever help butcher meat? Yes. And then I couldn't eat meat.
Are you a vegetarian?
I could be. And your mom hollers at me, or your grandma hollers at me.
I couldn't be. I like burgers too much.
So get veggie ones. What? So get vegetarian ones.
And they're not bad.
Debatable.
If you put ketchup and mustard and onion and pickles and all that, you taste all that instead of the burger part, so.
Yeah, but I don't like those things.
Well, tough luck, kid.
How was high school?
It was fun.
It was fun.
How many kids?
I had 25 kids in my class.
How many kids were in your high school? Total.
Probably under 100.
Under 100.
Where'd you go to high school?
Where did you go to high school for that?
Little River, Kansas.
Again, don't know where that is, but alrighty then.
We'll get out the
I
atlas
have
and find
one.
out.
If you could go and tell your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Be happy with what you have.
you weren't happy with what you had?
Yeah, I was.
Then why would you say that to yourself?
No, she said if I would tell somebody else.
No.
No, yourself.
Oh, I wouldn't tell myself anything because I wouldn't mind myself. And don't tell me not to do something because then I'll do it.
Did you go to college?
I have some credits from Cloud County College, but no, I didn't go to college.
I don't know how that works, so.
Okay, the colleges now, Butler County has campuses other places.
Yeah.
Well, this one had campus in Minneapolis, Kansas, and I studied computers. Back in 1987, I think it was.
I know, I just don't know what the credits are for.
So it's like a number value for a class. You get 3 credit hours. You'll understand later when you go to college.
Debatable.
No.
Not to going to college, just understanding the credits. Later, maybe.
What was a
Right
typical
now, no.
day in the summer in harvest?
What was what?
A typical day in the summer at harvest time.
Well, you started when the moisture was gone out of the wheat, when they started combining. And it was always a very long day because they'd cut wheat as long as it didn't get damp.
Mm-hmm.
And you always take the meals to the field. So, this was long days.
How big was your farm?
Probably where we lived the longest, it would have been 160 acres where we lived. But he rented land elsewhere, and I don't know how much land he rented there.
No, he had a section at one point.
Did you ever have any pets?
We had dogs and cats.
How
Outside,
many?
outside dogs and cats.
Oh, how many?
That I don't remember.
What was her favorite pet?
Yeah, what was your favorite pet?
I don't know if I had a favorite. And every time a storm came up, our mom made us go to the cave, because she always, if it was a tornado, because she always thought the tornado was coming. And it finally did about 4 or 5 years ago and destroyed everything on that farm.
Wait, like from today, 4 or 5 years ago?
So what was the cave?
Yes, what was this cave you speak of?
It was a hole in the ground.
Was there any way out?
Oh yes, you had steps to go down, you had a door on it. And in our cave we had shelves that we put all of the produce that we canned all summer long, so we had food in the winter. We kept it in the cave. And the potatoes and apples and things like that, because it was always cool there.
Why is it called the cave?
Because the cave's a hole in the ground, I guess.
It's true.
I'm pretty sure that's just the hole, but alright.
Have you ever been in any caves that they have now in the United States?
Yeah, definitely.
Where at?
It was. I forgot what it's called, but it was. It's next to Disneyland.
That wasn't a real cave.
Yeah, it was.
We've been to a real cave.
Went to a real cave in Arkansas.
In Arkansas.
What's it called? Marble Cave?
Cosmic Cavern.
Yeah, Cosmic Caverns.
Yeah, we went to Cosmic Caverns in Arkansas.
I've been to the cave by Springfield.
That's Mystic Caverns or something like that.
Something like that.
I've been to a cave down in Oklahoma. I've been to the cave in New Mexico.
Caverns.
I've been to the Grand Canyon cavern, and I was very disappointed in it because it's a dry cave and does not have the stalactites and stalagmites. And we went one in Missouri where you had to crawl on your stomach to get in. When you got in, you could stand up.
No. No thanks.
I think she was talking about Carlsbad Caverns.
Oh,
Yeah, Carlsbad Caverns, yeah.
The,
I would
the
never
cave
go.
you're talking about, Cole, is the Sunny Jim Cave in La Jolla, California.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
There's a cave.
Yeah, it's not next to Disneyland though. It's like 2 hours away. It's fine.
It's the closest place that I know because I don't know any places that are closer.
I've been to Disneyland and I've been to Disney World. And I would take Disneyland over Disney World.
I would definitely take Disneyland over Disney World.
And I used to go to Worlds of Fun every summer for a long time.
Did you ride the rides?
Sure. My favorite ride was the one that went through the water, or the one that went over it.
Log jam? No.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine is the Mamba. That's my favorite world.
I've been deep sea fishing.
Yeah, where?
No, Pacific. You wonder what I caught?
What?
Might have to edit this one. Bird poop and seasick.
We're safe. We're good.
I went to the Bahamas we went to the Bahamas for our 25th wedding anniversary, and I got seasick on the Atlantic Ocean.
Have you ever gone scuba diving?
No.
I want to.
And when I went to Boston, we stopped at the Atlantic Ocean and I dipped my foot in it there, up in Boston.
Just dip your foot in it? Nothing more?
That's it.
Just so you can say that you've been in it?
I've been to Catalina.
Where's that?
It's an island off of Los Angeles, out in the Pacific.
I was about to say San Francisco.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to San Francisco once, but Uncle Barry didn't want to. So we went to Tahoe.
That's pretty different.
I know. And we played the slot machines, and he won enough money to buy a leather jacket.
Oh my gosh.
Does he still have it?
I don't know. He kept it for a long time, but it kind of wasn't big enough at the last. Island, which is the island and down in San Diego, because I wanted to go to the hotel there. Uncle Barry doesn't like to drive across the bridge.
We saw that island, remember?
Yeah.
From the beach.
Have you ever been gambling and then won?
Yes, and would you believe I still have quite a bit of gambling money, and when it's gone, I can't go to the casinos anymore. Came home once with enough to buy a new sewing machine.
How much, like, rounded, how much total money have you won at casinos?
I have no idea.
A lot.
A what? At least $1,000?
Well, when I bought the sewing machine, yes.
How long have you been playing on the same pot of money?
Way before Grandpa died.
So that's 15 plus years.
I wish I could gamble.
You do with your grades.
darn you.
That was one thing Grandpa liked to do, so we did that a lot.
I
Especially
gamble
after
just
he-
to see if I can win money.
Especially after he got knocked well.
I don't have any more questions, Harper.
What do you got, Harper?
Nothing.
Why don't you ask her what's the furthest place she's ever traveled?
What's the farthest place you ever traveled?
I got another one.
Well, it probably would be British Columbia, or, well, Boston or Cape Canaveral,
Have you ever
San
been?
Diego.
You cruise.
Actually,
Bermuda.
British Columbia would be pretty far away.
Yeah.
It's a
I
long
think
ways.
cruise took you further. What was that, 60s?
Don't ask me.
What, yeah, what was it you went to? Off of Florida.
Yeah, but it's not very far off of Florida.
No, Florida's a ways.
Yep.
What's Florida? 1,500, 1,600 miles to the coast, maybe?
I got no clue.
And then off the
Well,
coast.
California's about 1,500 miles.
1,500, yeah.
Boston's probably a little bit further.
Yeah, maybe. Not much, I bet. That's
No,
where-
not when we're right here in the middle.
Right. Hit the four corners about equal, I think.
Probably.
Have you ever been to DC?
No.
Have you ever gone out of the country? Been out of the country?
Oh, when we went to Canada. Yeah, in the Bahamas.
Didn't need a passport then, though.
No, didn't need passports then.
Why did Daddy call you Grandma and Grandpa Choo Choo?
Oh,
Because our shop was by the railroad tracks and he heard the trains all the time.
Makes sense.
What'd they do in the shop?
Yeah, what shopping would you do?
Well, Grandpa sided houses and we kept the materials in the house.
Okay.
It's by a grain elevator, right?
Mm-hmm.
kind of, yeah.
They don't use the grain elevators anymore.
We were there all the time.
Harper?
Got no more. Got any questions?
Why don't you ask her what her favorite musician is?
You're too loud.
What's your favorite musician?
Of all the concerts I ever went to, Don Williams would have been my favorite. But last night we listened to Roy Clark, and I love Roy Clark. Country western. The underground country.
Any more?
Trying to help you out.
Did you ever play a musical instrument?
We took piano lessons, but we three girls were taking them at the same time, and that got kind of boring, so we quit. We took them because our mom always wanted to learn to play the piano.
Yeah. Did Dad ever play a musical instrument?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did either.
Oh, we in school we used to play. I think it was called the tonette, and I still have one. It's about yay long and it's black.
What kind of instrument is it?
Belonging to it?
It's got holes in it, and
Yep.
Yeah.
guess it'd be a wind instrument. I taught school for a week once.
Ask her
Yeah. What about that?
I was a senior in high school, and the teacher that they had at school got sick, so they decided that I could teach. It was a school about a quarter of a mile from where I lived. And I have to tell you about going to school in the wintertime.
Okay.
If it was snowy, our dad would walk in front of us. We had about 3/4 of a mile to go to school. And he would walk in front of us and get us to the school. And then when school was out, he would come and see that we got home. When it was snowy and stormy.
There was no bus.
What did you teach when you were teaching?
Oh, yes.
Whatever the classes were, because you had all 8 grades, and you just made the kids mind.
Right.
Okay.
Did you play any sports when you were in school?
No,
Were girls allowed to?
no. And I was on the honor roll all during high school. Didn't think that was unusual.
That is unusual.
No, it's not. Did you know Grandpa before he went in the Army or after?
After.
When did Grandpa's hair turn white?
Grandpa's hair was never white.
Oh, silver.
Oh, Leonard.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. My dad's hair never turned.
No, it didn't.
My mom's hair turned when she was in her 20s.
20s.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had white hair. White hair seems cool. Because if you look young and you have white hair,
And you know,
it's cool.
do you want to know where Aunt Judy got her white hair?
Where?
She says I gave it to her.
Did you tell her that's a two-way street?
I think she's why my hair is getting thinner.
Well, Harper, do you have any more questions?
No, sorry.
I just asked. You don't have to go, no.
You have
Cole and Harper.
like every 2 minutes.
Stop, please.
I think we're done.
Papa, do you have any questions?
So how many brothers did Dad have? And sisters? We talked about that recently. I don't know if we ever figured them all out, did we?
There was 9 kids, so there would have been 5 boys and 4 girls.
Okay. And what was their names?
Nelda, Fred, Helen. I don't know where Emma came in. And then Leonard. Then Lola. Then Amos. Then Urban.
That's 8.
It's 8.
Forgot Chet, didn't
No,
you?
I was gonna say
Oh, Chet.
Chet somewhere.
Yeah. Chet was younger than...
So Steve said 11.
I know Steve did. And when I questioned him about it, he says, well, it just seemed like it.
So Irma's
Say
the one.
23.
Irma's the one that died.
Emma.
Emma died. Yeah,
Yeah.
Emma died. Okay. And what year do you remember?
1938.
38. Died from a fire.
Died from a fire. They had a wood cook stove, and they were wanted it to start fast and threw kerosene in it, and it flashed back.
Ooh.
And then the mom died before she did, the day before, because she tried to put the fire out on Emma. And
Where did Grandpa grow up at?
Buckeye, Kansas, which is South Canopolis.
Do you
That's
mean
amazing.
Grandpa Choo Choo?
Yeah, Grandpa Choo Choo. Grandpa Nienke. Buckeye, Kansas.
You mean Papa?
No.
So what towns did you live in when you after you got married?
Lived in Ellsworth, Great Bend, Lyons, and Salina. Actually, in Great Bend, we lived on a farm.
So did dad ever farm? Didn't he?
No,
So what did he do after the army? When you got married, what was he
he
doing?
worked on the Canopolis Dam.
Then what did he do?
Then he started as a carpenter.
Didn't he move houses for a while too? Or was that before the
That
army?
was before I ever knew him.
Okay. So he worked on Canopolis. Then you guys moved to Salina? Or was that...
No, he worked on Canopolis after we were married, and then we moved to Ellsworth, and that's when he started carpentering.
That's something he trained in, or he just...
Just did it. And Judy was born in Ellsworth, and you were born in Lyons, and the other two were born in Salina. And the reason we didn't stay in Great Bend very long is because he had to cross a creek to get over to feed the cattle, and they were having a flood, and he couldn't walk across the bridge, so he quit.
What was Grandpa's favorite job he ever had?
I have no idea.
He was a
Yes.
pretty good carpenter, though, I recall.
He built some of the furniture that I still have.
Built part of the house that you lived in.
Yeah, he built the house, built on the house.
Probably built almost half of it.
Yes. Squatter on the rear.
You can pause it. It's fine.
And your dad helped build the house.
Yep.
And they built, your mom and dad put two houses together on the farm.
Right.
Tore down the old farmhouse. What year was that?
You know, I don't know, and I've looked at the pictures, and they don't have dates on any of the pictures.
So they hauled the houses in from around the area? The two houses?
You know, I do not remember.
That's the point I've always missed. I never did hear.
Don't know. Growing up, there were 3 of us girls and 2 boys, and we 3 girls had to sleep in the same bed.
Did the boys have to sleep in the same bed?
Probably.
See, it could be worse.
Yeah, that's in the old farmhouse.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was a bedroom downstairs and only 2 upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So was that farmhouse still standing until a few years ago?
No,
No.
No?
that's the one they tore down.
Oh, okay.
And then the one they built is the one that the tornado took.
I see.
So Grandpa Folks was afraid of snakes. Grandpa Nienke was afraid of snakes. And if you
It skips a generation, maybe?
and if you seen a snake, they'd already seen it and were long gone.
Maybe it flips from snakes to mice.
Maybe. Are you
Snakes,
scared of
mice,
any
snakes.
creatures like that? Nothing.
I don't like them, but I'm not scared of them. You know how I got rid of a mouse once?
Tell me.
I stabbed him with a knife.
Very brutal.
Yes, I was.
Took care of it.
That's
He
right.
was invading her space. She's defending herself.
I'm scared of, I'm scared of, what am I scared of? Not really the,
Leaving your room.
yes, but going to school.
No, you're not.
Mm.
What did your dad do for a living
He was a farmer.
after that?
That's what he always did.
Did he do something with a telephone company?
Oh, well, he was president of a telephone company for about 18 years, but that was not a paid job.
Okay.
technically it wasn't even a job.
What did he farm?
What did he farm?
Uh-huh.
Mainly wheat.
Wheat, alfalfa. He had cattle. He had a big pasture he leased. He had cattle. He had milk cows for a number of years, and then they just went away. But he kept beef cattle.
I
after.
guess when his oldest son quit milking cows, then he quit. I always said I was my dad's oldest son
Oh, was that right?
because I was oldest in the family.
Uh-huh.
How loud was his voice?
It wasn't loud to me. We talked about his favorite saying, which was, "Oh, go to grass,"
Go to grass.
which means get the heck out of here.
Go fly a kite.
Overs.
Except for it wasn't a heck.
He had a loud, booming voice. That's what I remember.
Yep.
Tallest man I ever seen and had a loud, booming voice. Confirmed by him that he could hear it over a tractor.
In the field.
Yeah, not close.
It was just my dad.